Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
So how was your experience Saturday?
So it was great. So I had to go see Grandpa afterwards, but taking it all the way back to the actual game and the start of the game, I'm like, okay, we got McKenzie on the hill. You know, I know we're going up against one of their aces who's just coming back from injury. He's not going to be able to stay in the game very long. Maybe if we can kind of do what we do, get back to small ball. It seemed like we had those long swings trying to be a home run hitting team when we're really not. We're a double hitting team. We get a bunch of guys on base. We bring them home, you know, thinking maybe make them work a little bit, get them out of the game even sooner, get to that bullpen sooner. Well, these guys start just, you know, they take up from where both pitching staffs were the day before. They're just throwing strikes. They're, you know, we're just kind of blowing through innings a little bit longer, a little bit, you know, the Rays especially. I want to know, I should have looked this up, but if there was a stat on the amount of foul balls with a 2-strike count by Rays hitters yesterday, because it felt like every single time they were making our pitchers work. We would get to an 0-2 count, and somehow, and I looked at the guy that was sitting next to me in the seats we were in, and you know, I was like, man, we were just following a script. Look, we're 0-2. I bet it's a ball in the dirt, 1-2. Oh my gosh, that just happened. And I was like saying this for like every hitter, and I finally said, for one, I was like, change the script. And, you know, we got the strikeout, 3-strike pitches, you know? And like everybody was into it the whole time. And with 1 out and 2 strikes, you know, usually you get up at 2 outs, 2 strikes. To close out each inning. We're getting up at 1 out, 2 strikes, and we're doing like the squats and stand up, sit down, scream a bunch of things, yell at the umpires, yell at the Rays players, then sit down, then stand up, then sit down, then stand up, then sit down, and it was just that way the whole time. I mean, kudos to the Rays pitching staff, the Guardians pitching staff. That was, if you want an extended game film of what it means to pitch when you got guys on base. Pitch when there's nobody on base and continue to put zeros on the board for your team to come out and try to get that offense going. Watch the pitching in that game yesterday. You may take a little while to get through it, but it was like nervous energy the whole time.
Oh, that's the beauty of a game like that. Like everyone was like, oh, I want to see a whole bunch of runs. The true best baseball game to watch, without a doubt, is a baseball pitching duel from both teams. Because every single pitch counts, and it's who's going to make that first mistake. It takes one bad pitch to you win or lose.
Now, if I were to take a brief look ahead, we'll do that with like the last 5 minutes or so, but a brief look ahead at the Yankees series, what I didn't like from our offense was the continuation of trying to be a home run hitting team, a lot of long swings, trying to put the run on the board, every person trying to do it themselves instead of allowing the group to kind of do it as a team and keep a rally going. Especially, what was the 6th inning? Bases loaded, no out.
Oh, my God, that hurt.
The one thing that frustrates me still with Cleveland baseball, no matter what name they go by, what name is across the front, what nickname, I guess, is across the front of the jersey, bases loaded. I look at Jana, my wife, all the time, and I'd be like, hey, it's the Guardians' favorite scenario to hit in. Bases loaded, no out, or bases loaded, 1 out, bases loaded, 2 out. I never see us get the big hit. Now, this team has gotten big hit after big hit throughout the year, so I'm not going to like rag on them or anything like that. It's just that was to not even get 1 run there, you're thinking, boy, are things, not because this team has shown it, but just those kind of weird aura situations where you don't get the job done. You feel like something switches over across the way.
It's a momentum shift right there, big time.
And the pitching staff continue to put zeros on the board, 0 after 0 after 0. And then Corey Kluber comes in. You know, everybody gave him a great sign, great ovation coming in because everybody still respects what he did here and a great career, an ace for this staff for a long time. And you know, thinking, okay, well, they're putting in a guy that
just never stops pitching great for us.
Well, you know, he waited a couple innings to do that, but you know, you're thinking this is a guy that can start in this league, and they're bringing him in at this point, so they're expecting this one to go a while, and we're like, oh, we're all the fans are, they're trying to go up to the concourse to get some more adult beverages and food. Nothing's being given out for like 3 hours. And then
they closed off the food early.
Well, the alcohol stops. What?
Yeah, I know
7
the alcohol.
the alcohol stops, and they definitely kept the food you had to go up to get the food. You could not. They were not bringing food unless it was peanuts or Cracker Jacks.
They didn't
coming
coming
through the concession. Okay. Yeah, it was drinks and peanuts, Cracker Jacks. There was no like actual food like hot dogs and stuff. And I'm one of those crazy people that, especially first ever playoff experience, but in a big game, if I get a chance to be in a big moment, go see my team in a big moment, I'm going to be there for every single moment.
Oh, so you got to see the home run.
I got to see the home run.
Oh, that's convenient because I was installing a door at my house, my new back door, and thank God I have Hulu and I can stream. So I just my TV's on rollers, like kind of like we have over here, and I pulled it out, pushed it right into my kitchen. So I'm like walking on my door with my uncle, looking behind me, watch the game, working on my door. And we opened the new storm door, and then we needed a left-handed opening door. We got a right-handed opening door. He's like, oh, we got to run to the store. I'm like, so it's 15th inning. We get our 3 outs real quick. We come up the bat, and I'm like on the freeway. Sure enough, that's when Oscar Gonzalez hits that home run. I'm like, oh, man, I didn't get to see it. It was so bad. But it was because you listen to Tom Hamilton's great.
Oh, yeah.
But it was cool.
The best.
All these cars are around us, and you see all the cars bumping their fists, going nuts and stuff, and we're pointing like, yeah, that's awesome. It was like I saw a winning game on the freeway with everyone. It was kind of weird.
In a big game like that, it's always fun after the game when on social media. They have the video from whatever television network was showing the game, but then they dub over Tom Hamilton's call of it because like that's the call you want to hear, but you also want to see that happen. So while you're
I love when they do that.
Yeah. And everybody was asking for it to me. Like I went on Twitter after the game and like where's the Hammy call? Where's the Tom Hamilton call? Where is it? Where is it? And it was like 5 minutes, but like everybody was asking for it within seconds after the game. And so like while you're driving on the highway, I've been here for this whole game. The friend of a friend that asked me to go because he knew I was a big baseball fan. We've been to games together before. He had seats up top. I somehow find my way down to the bottom as well, but from the start of the game, not just in the 6th inning when it would be more viable, but, perks of working and people knowing I'm a big baseball fan. So take advantage when you can.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always nice to have nice things come to you. So he had to leave because him and his family had an event, and it was like at 5 o'clock. Like he could not stay. So I stayed to represent us, and then, I'm just kind of like sitting down, trying to relax in between the top of the 15th and the bottom, and Oscar Gonzalez comes up, and the last couple times he had come up, I'd kind of like stopped singing the SpongeBob songs. I'm like, all right, like, you haven't done anything yet. Like, something's got to change here. So that inning, I decided, you know what? Gonna get myself back going again, singing the SpongeBob song. That pitch comes in, you hear the crack of the bat, and we all knew.
He knew.
He knew. He looked at the Rays. Take every bat flip. Take the shooter, bro, that that he does coming around second into third base. All of that, the mobbing at home plate to be there. I mean, those are the type of moments that you absolutely live for. As much as it is exhausting to go through this kind of innings, when it ends like that and a young guy comes through and the team is having all the fun in the world, they don't care that someone else did it. They didn't. They're just celebrating each other, celebrating moving on.
Walking shirtless on the field with a cigar in afterwards.
Oh,
Austin Hedges. Austin Hedges is a vibe, as they said. I'm like,
he is. And, to have him behind the plate is great. We know, like, offensively where our catchers stand.
You can hit zero for all I care anymore. Just call a great game pitching, be a great defensive catcher.
The dude is a walking quote, too.
And just continue to do post-game interviews, please.
And I don't even care that they say after the game, and Hedges was the leader of it, that we want to take a bite out of the Big Apple. Like, we're not scared.
Oh, I wanted them. I am not scared of this team whatsoever. I truly believe that we are more than capable of beating them.
If they play baseball the way that they we know we're going to go up against really good pitchers.
Yeah,
and
we got to play
the scores are going
Garrett
to be
Cole game 1.
the
Hell
scores-
of a pitcher, but he ain't unhittable.
The scores are going to be close. It's going to be low scoring. We know all that. This team has been in those situations before. And going back to April, remember when we talked about I think we were one of the first people on it. Like the time that this team came together, when Miles Straw climbed that wall, they didn't necessarily play well in the next couple games, but you saw like a different chemistry from that point on with this team. Miles Straw
A true
climbs the wall.
brotherhood bond was formed there, I believe.
Yeah, they're yelling obscenities and stuff at the team, at people out there in the outfield, and he wasn't having any of it, and they're calling him classless. And New York fans are classless.
Oh, I can't stand him. You are the worst, New York.
They do have a great lineup, though. So, not to make predictions or anything, but come Tuesday night, are we going to see a young team with deer in the headlights, or are they just going to? Are we going to see, no matter how the series ends? What are you looking forward to most taking on the Yankees, Jay?
I think I'm going to see a young, hungry team that feels disrespected, and they're going to come out and put their mark on this world.
Peter?
I agree. I think they're going to come out. They're not going to be deer in the headlights. They have Tito.
Yes.
They're a team that plays well together. They're young, but they are hungry, and I think that they're going to take everything that's given to them and more.
The Tito effect can't be stressed enough. That guy is phenomenal.
And that's I think that's the biggest point that we talked about at the start of this year. Like if there was, no matter what we predicted for this team, and you and I, Jay, were wrong. Peter was was higher on this team.
I mean, we're not going to compete with an AI system,
I
Kevin.
understand. The analytics are like nothing to him. It just,
It's just like, hold on, computing.
5 seconds.
They will win 93 games this year.
Yeah, but
Off by one.
In all seriousness, though, like we admit that we were wrong, like our expectations, but we're not the only ones that were like that. There's a lot of people saying that this team has far exceeded expectations, and they continue to follow Terry Francona, and that was the main piece that we said. If this team has success, as young as they are going, it is going to be because of the best manager in all of baseball, and that is Terry Francona, and that's why they won yesterday, and that's why they won't be scared.
That's why I want a scooter.
Yeah, that's
Well, I think
why
I'm
you
going
want
to say not only Tito, but also the front office and,
Yes.
and our farm system.
Yeah.
Because how many was it? 16, 17
16.
players?
Yeah. And the pitching printer that they have.
Oh, my God.
That 3D printer that they just like, and then they've got a new Cy Young winner comes out.
I think you're right.
Well, and you guys know what I've been asking for a long time, because it didn't seem like the organization could develop them. Quality above average, doesn't need to be an all-star, but above average Major League Baseball outfielders. Guess what?
3 of them.
We got 3 of them.
And hats off to Miles Straw, man. He's really come on at the end of the season. He's had a hard season, but his defense, and that late in that game, he had it looks like a routine catch, but he comes charging in and catches a third out, and I'm like, wow, dude, he had such a great jump. And just being a baseball player my whole life, like I know how hard that was, because it wasn't like a
right. Yeah, when they
popcorn, it was a line shot that he caught, and that was a hell of a catch at the end.
Well, and since we're going over as always, I'm also gonna say Jose, because I think the fact that Jose, well, I mean, we know he's a great player, but the fact that he took that team friendly deal, and
That's where it started,
and he said, yeah, I want to be here, I want to play here. I think that did so much to cement this team. Yeah. Because you've got a guy that could go pretty much anywhere and make way more money. And the fact that he wants to be here, I think these young guys see that and they're like, you know what? That's special. And I honestly hope we see more of that throughout not just baseball, but all pro sports.
Yeah.
Because there's something as a fan, yes, you root for the name on, on the front of the jersey. But man, you really develop like a fandom of some of these players, and you want them to succeed, but you want them to succeed here.
Yeah.
And when they embrace your town, your city like that, there's nothing better than it.
He just wants to go play baseball. He wants to play baseball here, and that I think that moment where we haven't seen that very often here. A guy saying, I want to play here, and actually not just saying it, but then signing on the dotted line. I think that did way more than, us changing the name because of pressure to change the name. Like, that was a starting point. Having Terry here, having so much consistency in this front office and throughout the organization, and having the same message across the organization has definitely helped. And young guys just buying in and just, again, playing a kid's game, love playing it, playing for the city, playing together as brothers. I know that there's going to be a lot of people saying, a lot of people in Cleveland, and rightfully so, saying, the Guardians have a chance in this series because everyone's going to count them out. And when people count them out, they tend to play their best baseball. At some point, that type of element, especially when you're in the playoffs and you're facing other really good teams, like that element, can't just be the only thing that carries you. But I think starting with that mentality and now knowing what it takes to play at this level and sticking to how they play the game of baseball, not trying to play like other teams do, finding ways to win no matter the circumstances at the end, that is what is going to give them a chance against the Yankees. Am I predicting they're winning it? Am I predicting they're not? That is not what I do on this show.
You know what I'm going to predict? That they're going to play hard no matter what.